Alright, YouTube, I'm at the shop. Haven't made a video in a while. Lots been going on. Sorry I ain't been able to record. But I just wanted to give y'all a little look at the cutlass. Cutlass has been pour 15'd. Let the pour 15 cure for 3 days. And rhino lined over top of the pour 15. This is the final product. Nice and durable. Everything is sealed in. I think it turned out really good. Customer is really happy. Frame is ready. The frame is going in the booth next hour or so. The frame is also going to be pour 15. As you can see, I got all of my body mount holes drilled. The last time I told you guys I was just waiting to drill all the body mount holes. I actually had to open the frame up in these areas here. When I boxed this in, I wasn't really thinking, you know, everybody makes mistakes, but you actually have to have that area here open so that you can slide your body mount, the bottom section of your body mount in there. Because if you see the hole at the bottom is too small for the body mount to fit through there. So from the factory, this whole area is open. And you know, I boxed it all in like I showed you guys, but I wasn't taking into account for the body mount having to go in right here. So you know, everybody makes mistakes, but live and you learn. No big deal. I cut it out. It's still all of this being boxed in, plus there's probably a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of steel on the top and bottom of this whole solid plate. So I mean, even with that hole cut out, sorry, the phone is cutting in and out on the focusing, but even with that square cut out of there, it's still 10 times stronger than from the factory. I did the same thing in the front as well. These middle sections here, you guys can see that same thing from the factory. You know, this whole frame rail was open, and in this section here, the bottom hole, the lower hole, is too small for the body mount to fit through as well. So I had to open these up. But like I said, it's 10 times stronger than it was from the factory. And I got that side done. I just finished that up a minute ago. Boxed in that lower trailing arm mount. I still need to drill my hole. You know, the hole goes here for the trailing arm and the bolt runs through the frame. Same thing on this side. I finished this side a while ago, but I just got around to doing this side here. But you know, I just wanted to show you guys what was going on at the shop. Like I said, this bad boy, we're going over it one more time with the wire wheel, just knocking off any little loose stuff that's left, scuffing it up. You know, the pour 15 basically will stick to anything, but you know, you want to get your surface with anything as clean as possible. So we're going over it one more time with the wire wheel, getting it ready to go in the booth. Also some changes. We've been talking with the owner, and you know, like I told you guys before, that's a fresh out the motor shop, never been started 350 rocket, dart, rotating assembly. Everything's been done to the motor, but it's a numbers matching motor for this car. The owner has decided to go with a 6.0 LQ9, I think it is, motor with a 4L80 tranny. So that really just threw a big detour in the progress of this car, because we were hoping to have the frame done, body sat back on it, and everything ready for paint in the next week or so. But now with the changes that he's just added, I don't know, some people may not know, but when you put a LS motor in an older car, there's a lot of changes that are involved, especially when you're running a 4L80 transmission. We're gonna have to figure out the cross member situation with the oil pan. Several ways you can go about it. They actually sell an oil pan that will fit with a lower sump in the rear for the LS motor to bring it back and down around the cross member. You also can notch the cross member out and box it in to fit different style of oil pan if you're not really trying to spend all of the extra money for a new oil pan. You have to get new motor mounts. They actually sell kits now. They're readily available from a lot of different distributors, so that's a lot. One of the good things involved in the LS swaps now, before a lot of guys was having to fabricate stuff and everything. So new motor mounts, figure out the cross member, either a new oil pan or we're going to notch the cross member out. Now, that's a brand new gas tank. That gas tank is no longer of use. He's got to order a new gas tank with the sump in it, set up for a LS motor, set up for fuel injection. Now guys can take these tanks, and I could cut it here, make a sump, weld it all in, and make it work for an LS tank. The disadvantage to that is this tank is wide open on the inside, has no baffles, it has no sump in it, anything to keep the motor starving from fuel, because in the older cars it was just a mechanical fuel pump, or even if you used an aftermarket electric fuel pump, you're only pumping about 14-15 psi fuel pressure. Now you switch to a LS motor. LS motor takes roughly 45 to 55 psi to run. Now anytime you're cornering or you're bumps, anything, your fuel is sloshing around, you run the risk of running the pump dry, losing prime to the motor. A lot of things can happen. So it's just easier in this situation. The guy, we already have the frame, the body off the frame. We're gonna go ahead and have him order a new gas tank that's set up for the LS motor with the sump, with the baffles in it to keep the gas from swishing around so much. It keeps the motor from starving for fuel. Also, once the motor is in, then we can figure out either custom headers, which I can put on, weld everything up with the custom kit, and be able to miss my cross member, miss anything, steering shaft position, front, anything involved in the car, the control arms, all of that can be a factor, because these are Hedman headers that are actually made for this car, and they will not go on this motor with the motor bolted in the frame. You have to lift the motor up. In order to get that motor out and get that header off of that passenger side, we had to lift the motor up and then take the header off. There was no way we could unbolt the header from the motor with it still being in the motor mounts and pull it out. It was impossible because of the upper A-arms here. So little clearance. So with the new headers, I'm not sure, I haven't looked too far into it, but I'm sure somebody makes a set of headers for a LS motor in a 67 Cutlass. But if not, we're gonna go ahead, get the kit, fab up some custom headers and a full exhaust. Benefit of having the body off the car, everything is easy to get to. So now I can mock up the motor, the tranny. Got to make a new cross member for the transmission. No big deal. They probably sell one. If not, we're going to make one. We're going to get all of that together. Motor, new headers, or headers that are, custom headers or new headers, back, full exhaust all the way back. Everything will be welded, easy to get to, so that makes life a lot easier. The owner is talking about having the LS motor built, so I know he already has the motor, the block, the transmission, so he's talking about sending it to the machine shop and having some little goodies put in it. So now we're thinking about rear end options. This is a stock rear end. The options are limitless on rear ends these days. I mean, a lot of guys love the Ford 9-inch Some guys are using the 8.8s out of Ford Explorers or Crown Vics and shortening them. I mean, the options are unlimited, but now you got to think you got all this extra horsepower, this beefy transmission, and this is the Wink Link now. So he's definitely going to have to figure something out about the rear end. Maybe a new Mosier setup or quick performance, I don't know. All of that is in the works though. But like I said, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update and show you that we are making progress. Sorry I haven't been able to get you guys no videos. Been working a lot at my actual real job, so I haven't had a lot of time at the shop. My short bed is over here. See, we got the bed on the dolly. The bed has been blocked and primed once. All I got to do now is block it again, and it's ready for sealer and paint. Turned out pretty good. It's pretty straight. There's the truck. I just blocked it down a second time yesterday. Just spot primed everything once, blocked it, then spot primed it again, found all my imperfections. So it's been sanded down, it's ready for sealer and paint. Tahoe project. We got Tahoe parts if anybody needs them. This is a 2010 Tahoe. I mean, we got all of the parts. The motor and tranny's still in there. It's a 4x4. I'm keeping the motor. Tranny's still good. Transfer case. Had cloth interior in it, so a lot of guys don't want cloth interior. But we got third row seats. And we got doors. We got fenders. Hood was bad on this. It's my buddy. This is his Tahoe. We used a lot of parts on it. Slowly getting it together. My Tahoe still has just been sitting. Haven't got around to putting my transmission in it yet. But, you know, we're here. We're at the shop. We're working. That's the SS Impala under there. I would take the tarp off, but I got a lot of junk on it right now. We got the panoramic roof installed in that. It's ready to be primed. And then it's going back to a buddy of ours' shop. And he's gonna redo the lift, redo the rear end, redo the lift so that the wheels would tuck and get everything ready. Then it's gonna come back for paint and body work. The donk still, we haven't touched the donk yet. Like I said, we haven't had a lot going on. We was hoping to have the cutlass done, have the donk off the frame, start work on the donk, but we haven't got around to it yet. The Caprice is up there. You guys can see it. It's sitting out there getting a sun bath. Found some rust in the jams when we went to spray the jams. So I actually had to cut the whole rocker out of the passenger side. And those cars, they're covered up with plastic down the passenger side. So when we took the plastic off to scuff the jams and get them ready for paint, the whole bottom rocker was rusted out. I cut it all out, replaced that, new metal, got it all ready. So that will be getting painted tomorrow, the jams. This is the hood and the trunk. The hood and the trunk have been sprayed already. This is the flip. This is the color. It's dusty, but in the light, this looks so good. It's a 3-color flip. Like I said, it's real dusty. Let me see if I can find a rag real quick for you guys and wipe it off so you can really see how nice it turned out. Here's a rag right here. Let me wipe this off for you guys. And you can kind of see the flip in it. It really flips good in the sunlight. Like I said, it's all dirty, dusty. It's been sitting in here collecting dust. This is the trunk right here. This is the trunk lid. We've been moving a lot of stuff around in the shop. I'm over here knocking shit over. Let me carry this outside for you guys so you guys can really see it in the sunlight. Set it down. Now you guys can get a better look at it. Get a better look at that flip. It's gonna be real nice when it's done. Probably be another week. Another week on that, should be done. It's cutlass. We'll figure something out with the cutlass. The Impala should be out of here. Short bed should be done. Week, maybe week and a half at the most. Yeah, YouTube, I just want to give you guys an update. And all of the guys that follow me, thank you for subscribing and following me. I know a lot of guys was real interested in the my Malibu project I have. Sorry I haven't made any new videos on it. Poor car's just sitting in my garage. It's at the same point where I left off. I just had a lot going on. I said in the previous video, you know, I just gained custody of one of my daughters, and you know, I had a lot of stuff going on with family, so you know, I need to take care of all of that and make sure everything is right before I can keep spending money and all of that on my project. But I definitely will start making videos on that within the next month or so. I'm gonna go ahead and get it all done. You know, I got everything situated so far. Everything's looking good with, you know, my custody battle and everything. So I appreciate everybody that's been sticking around waiting on the videos of the Malibu, and you know, everybody who watches my videos, try to keep them and make them as much as I can. Like I said, I'm just doing this on my iPhone, so I know the videos aren't the best, but I'm trying to give everybody a look at what goes on here in Ohio, and try to give anybody some helpful pointers. If you have any questions, anything, feel free to ask, like, subscribe, tell a friend. Thanks for watching.